You're welcome, televiewers, to the 75th anniversary rundown on DMR TV of the Diocese of BUEA. I am Father Solomon Lyonga Ikundi welcoming you on board. Today we are going to be talking to two monsignors, two recently appointed monsignors of the Diocese of BUEA. Reverend Father Moses Tazo, Monsignor Moses Tazo, who was ordained a priest on the 22nd of April 1979 in Fontem, and Monsignor Edward Ngalame, ordained a priest on the 18th of April 1979 in St. Luke's Parish, Nyandong. In the course of the program today, we shall also give you some updates as concerns the events leading up to the 75th anniversary peak celebration, and not leaving out some updates concerning the meetings that have been taking place, the regular meetings taking place to prepare for the peak celebration of the 75th anniversary in the Diocese of BUEA. That will take place Wednesday, 7th of May 2025. These issues and much more will be yours in today's edition of the 75th anniversary rundown. Stay tuned. I will be back after the short break. And we begin today with the meeting that took place today, Wednesday, the 2nd of April, at the NEC Conference Hall in the Bishop Pius, our Memorial Pastoral Center, bringing together the members of the steering committee of the Diocese of BUEA, the steering committee that is in charge of organizing the 75th anniversary. And the meeting today was presided over by the Bishop of the Diocese of BUEA, and it gave the steering committee members the opportunity to evaluate the different pre-celebrations leading up to the 75th anniversary celebration, the celebrations that have taken place in the 7 deaneries that make up the Diocese of BUEA. And members also evaluated the activities of the subcommittees, the different subcommittees of the steering committee that is, of course, in charge of planning the peak celebration. At the end of it all, the Bishop of BUEA, Most Reverend Michael Bibi, was satisfied with the work carried out by the members of the steering committee, appreciating their sense of duty. And for now, all hands must be put on deck to ensure a successful celebration come Wednesday, the 7th of May 2025. Without any transition, we talk about the celebration marking the 75th anniversary in BUEA Deanery that took place recently at the Regina Pacis Cathedral in Smosopo. Let us give you this report done for us by Franklin Fomunkong.
Laity, religious and priests working and living in all parishes and institutions of BUEA Deanery, Diocese of BUEA, gathered together this Saturday, March 29th, to commemorate the 75th anniversary of BUEA Diocese at the level of BUEA Deanery.
I've started the celebration of 75th anniversary at the level of the Deanery since 2 days now. We started on Thursday, Friday, today is the D-Day.
The festivities commenced with a solemn mass at Regina Pacis Cathedral, officiated by His Lordship Michael Bibi, who through the occasion commended the growth of faith in the deanery.
Thank all my brother, Father them, with and the work for the different parishes for this deanery, and also for thank all the consecrated men and women with and render services for this deanery, and each and every one for we for all way to way with the doan, but make sure say make with spiritual life you go before.
This mass, joyously animated by the Deanery Choir, featured among others lectionary procession, address from the Deanery Pastoral Council President, and special offertories stratified in order of parishes. BUEA Deanery is last deanery to celebrate the diocesan anniversary.
We thank God for giving us this opportunity to conclude with the deanery celebrations of the 75th anniversary of the Diocese of BUEA. And it has been a successful event all through, and presently we have the diocesan pilgrimage that is coming up on the 5th of April. After the diocesan pilgrimage, we are going to have the Chrism Mass, which is linked up with the Cathedraticum on the 15th of April. On the 24th of April, we are going to have priestly ordinations. And after that, 26 to 27, we will join the nation in the national pilgrimage at Marienberg in the Diocese of Edea. And after that, we will have the peak celebration. That will be on the 7th of May.
As a microcosm in the diocese, faithful from all 6 parishes in BUEA Deanery, Our Lady of Sorrows Parish, Wonyaliose, St. Therese of the Child Jesus Parish, Mekongi, Our Lady of Immaculate Conception Parish, Great Sopo, St. Anthony of Padua Parish, BUEA Town, and Regina Pacis Cathedral, Sumo Sopo, tilted their attention to May 7th, which is the day for the 75th anniversary of BUEA Diocese.
Franklin Fomukong ending that report on the celebrations marking the 75th anniversary in BUEA Deanery on Saturday, 29th of March, 2025. Still talking about the celebration in BUEA Deanery, the Christians rounded up the day with a display of some socio-cultural activities to give the celebration the color it deserves. Details on the socio-cultural activities that marked the BUEA Deanery celebration with Bernard Asonye.
In a vibrant display of faith, Christians of BUEA Deanery, together with their priest and the local ordinary of the Diocese of BUEA, have rounded up the BUEA Deanery celebration of the 75th anniversary of the Diocese of BUEA. Finishing the Eucharistic celebration, they all moved to the esplanade of the ceremonial ground of the Regina Pacis Cathedral, where the day was animated by lots of socio-cultural activities from the Christians themselves. Ranging from choral singing to traditional display and ballet dances, the people expressed the joy of 75 years of proclamation of the gospel.
Maria, you go get now. You go get Maria, you go get now. Pararam, 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 pararam. Bibi, kueyo yama. Bishop bibi, Bishop bibi, kueyo yama. Panaje, panaje, bakajame.
Featuring during the celebration was the presentation also of prizes to the parishes who participated and carried the day in the various activities. Being the last deanery to celebrate the 75th anniversary at the level of deaneries, the Deanery Pastoral Council chairperson has evaluated the event as successful.
In terms of evaluation, I want to say that the 3 days event for the celebration of 75th anniversary at the level of BUEA Diocese has been very successful. In fact, we have been surprised. I think it was all beautiful. Beautiful because BUEA Deanery is the mother and the grandmother of all dioceses and deaneries, so they know what to do and they know just what to do.
The joy and ambience that filled the atmosphere left the people fulfilled and delighted.
We celebrate our 75th anniversary. So we are very happy. We don't start on number 3 day today. So we don't enjoy. Today with the enam, we don't sing. We're glad. We dance with our bishop. Today, so we go sleep with joy. What skin will go so like.
As everyone look up to the grand celebration come May 7, 2025, they are reminded all the more to belong fully, participate actively, and to contribute their own quota to ensuring the proclamation of the gospel message to the ends of the earth.
The next event that is in connection with the 75th anniversary will be the upcoming annual Lenten pilgrimage that will take place this Saturday, the 5th of April 2025 in Bojongo. It will be a time of reconciliation, a time of spiritual nourishment for the Christians, the people of God in the Diocese of BUEA. And after the diocesan pilgrimage, we shall all converge on the Divine Mercy Co-Cathedral on Tuesday 15th of April 2025 for the Chrism Mass and Cathedraticum celebration. The occasion will be given to the Christians to witness the blessing of the oils that will be used for baptism at Easter. That is the chrism oil used for baptism and ordination. We shall also witness the blessing of the oil of catechumens and the oil of the sick, and not leaving out the cathedraticum event, as parishes will come up to support the chief shepherd of the Diocese of BUEA, Most Reverend Michael Bibi, in his pastoral endeavors. And another event that will also come up before the peak celebration will be the priestly ordination on the 24th of April 2025. Now, on to this story that is still making headlines. The recently appointed monsignors in the Diocese of BUEA say the new title acts as an extra motivation for them to continue serving God and the people of God in the diocese. They were speaking shortly after receiving news of the appointment by the Holy Father, Pope Francis. Staff man Yannick Funky in the following report says Christians celebrated with them at the Regina Pacis Cathedral in Smosopo.
The Regina Pacis Cathedral Smosopo was filled with joyful surprises as the Bishop of BUEA, His Lordship Michael Bibi, announced the appointment of 6 new monsignors in the diocese by His Holiness Pope Francis.
The first Monsignor, na Monsignor Martin Donny Muma. Then we get Monsignor John Chamda. Then we get Monsignor Jutadios Mbi. Then we get Monsignor Moses Tazo. Then we get Monsignor Sebastian Fonsa. And finally, we get Monsignor Edward Ngalame.
These distinguished priests were carefully selected in recognition of their unwavering dedication and service to the church.
It actually came as a big surprise to me. And I would thank God for the years I've worked as a priest, and it has not been easy. But the significance of all this is that God has accepted and they have recognized the work I've done here. And I'm praying that God should continue to help me to continue to serve the people of God in whatever capacity and wherever I find myself.
I'm particularly happy, grateful to the Bishop, to the diocese, and to the Holy Father himself, who accepted that I be considered for the new title of Monsignor for the Diocese of BUEA. I pray that God will continue to grant me the graces to serve the diocese in this capacity, as has been happening all along.
It's a wonderful blessing, and I'll just try to humble myself given the situation of today's gospel. I'll try to be humble because you can get blown up and you don't do God's work. So I'm very happy and very humbled, and I promise to do my best.
Having devoted themselves wholeheartedly to the mission of the diocese, their elevation is a true reflection to their commitment to God and humanity.
Did a bit of something in which the thing is worthwhile for the church. And I just pray that even at this time, that is just the beginning. If God can give us the opportunity, we'll try to see more that we were able to do. I think we recognize that we have done something. It's a sign that we are able to do something. So I just pray that I get the graces to do a little more for the Lord Vineyard.
Thank the Bishop and thank the Holy Father for accepting the letter that I should be Monsignor. And I hope that he will give me the power that I need to do the work of a Monsignor in a bigger way as a priest.
In the coming weeks, the Bishop of BUEA will preside over a special investiture mass to officially confer their new title. As part of the ceremony, they will don a distinctive cassock with purple trim, symbolizing their esteemed rank within the church.
We get for prepare all their monsignors to turn them, their beretta them, their sash them, everything.
It is worth noting that the last two monsignors in the Diocese of BUEA were Monsignor Luke Atang and Monsignor James Toba, both of blessed memory.
And we are blessed to have with us on the program today two monsignors, Monsignor Moses Tazo and Monsignor Edward Ngalame. Good evening, Monsignor Moses.
Good morning. Good evening, Father. We are really happy to be here since the new office. We are here in a different capacity, and we thank God that we are able to reach this stage where we can say we have done a bit. I would say have to do more.
I am extremely grateful to have you on the program. Monsignor has been working since morning and willingly accepted to be with us today on the 75th anniversary to share your rich experience serving in the Diocese of BUEA. We are sincerely grateful, Monsignor.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we also have on my right Monsignor Edward Ngalame, who was ordained in St. Luke's Parish, Nyandong, as a priest some 46 years ago. Monsi, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, Father Kundi.
We'll begin with you, Monsi. Even before your appointment, many called you Monsi, and now you have officially been recognized as Monsignor. How do you receive this recognition?
In fact, I was very, very delighted. I never thought I was going to be made one. So I was taken by surprise because already people were calling me Monsi, Monsi, Monsi. But I knew that was because I was a Vicar General. But this one has come as an appointment from Rome itself, which is a real title now. So I'm really delighted, I'm happy.
46 years ago, Father Moses Tazo, you were ordained as a priest of the Diocese of BUEA in Fontaine by the then Bishop of BUEA, Most Reverend Pius Awa. How has it been serving the people of God in this local church?
I think it has really been joy. You know, the priesthood has been self-fulfilling, and I think if I look back for the 6 years, I could see the mark that I have made in my humble way. And at a time when things were not as they are today, when I look at the ministry today, things are much easier, although the work is increasing every time, but the facilities that we had at that time were not wonderful. But we're happy doing whatever we did. If we trekked, we enjoyed the trekking. If we had to, carry our bags on our head, it was really joy doing it. So I think when I look back, as I said, it was a journey being worth making. And I think maybe if we have chance today, I may have to share some of the things, some of the life that I lived as a young priest from the beginning, which is mayhap today when you look back, you ask yourself, is it the same church that we started? But it's showing how much the Church of God is growing. You see that things are moving forward. And as I said, today we are living more or less in a different generation, but it's the same church, but things are changing for the better. And that's why I'm very happy, because I wouldn't say that I wasted even a minute of my priesthood. I enjoy every minute of it. I'm still enjoying it now. So for the 6 years have been a very wonderful time in my life. And I still pray that in many years I'll continue to be, that self-fulfilling priest that God called me to be.
In 1950, when the Diocese of BUEA started, we had just about 60,000 Christians, but now we are talking about over 300,000 Christians in the Diocese of BUEA. Father Monsignor Edward Galame, 46 years as a priest, you have been part of the history of the Diocese of BUEA. How can you evaluate the contribution of the first indigenous priests to the history of our diocese? We know the pioneer diocesan priests. We have Father Aloysius Wankwi, ordained in 1949. Monsignor Lucas Adeyatang, ordained in 1956. Monsignor James Toba, Ivan Dicha, and Henry Mesue, ordained in 1958, and Father Clemenze, ordained in 1960. How can you evaluate the contributions? And you find yourself among the generation, that generation of the pioneer diocesan priests.
Thank you, Father, for the question. I was privileged to work with one of those indigenous priests, the early ones, when I was just ordained in Fiango Parish with Monsignor Luke Atang. He was my first parish priest. He was the one working at the parish priest of Fiango when I came there. In fact, they had that time, the way that they did their work was meticulous, and they had time for the younger priest. I remember that Monsignor had so much time for me when I had to do any work at all. Let's say go to the oxygen and so on. He would even take part in fixing my mass box. You know, I'm comfortable as I'm going to the stations, which are so many at a time. So he was a very, very kind man, very, very a gentleman. Let me say, he was really a gentleman with the way he did these things. And I was fortunate, as I say, I worked with him, with another military father, three of us. Father,
that was in 1979. Yes. In 1979, yes. When you were ordained.
Mm-hmm. I forgot the father's name, but I worked with one indigenous father. I mean, one indigenous father and military father. We worked together very, very well. The group was very, very nice. The accommodation was very good. We cooperated with each other very much. And that father taught me so many things, personally speaking. How to work with the cinema or the film at that time. Whether we had slides and so on. He taught me how to use slides in preaching the word of God. And the first one who gave me a card the first time to use my ministry and so on. So I had a very good time with them. And you could see that the spirit which we had at that time, I don't think it's so much now. Because we have time for each other. There was no discrimination or so. But each person has time for the other. But I was considered as a very young priest among them. So I was taken good care of very much by two of them. So I really had a very, very fruitful ministry at the beginning. And they taught me so many things that concern pastoral work. But unfortunately for that time, Father had a terrible accident that time. So two of us were working for Monsignor Atang. He had a very, very serious accident that time, and he was mostly in the house and in the hospital. So, and the other father, we did most of the work.
Okay, thank you, Monsignor Edwin Galame. Today, BUEA Diocese has about, of course, we have 123 diocesan priests. Most of these priests are young. Father Moses, well, we'll get used to the Monsignor title. Monsignor Moses Tazo. How was it being a young priest in 1979?
I think it was really trying, but as Monsignor Galame was saying, we live with priests who were eager to teach us how to start, who were behind you to direct this how things are done. Now in the seminary, we learned a lot, intellectual work, a lot of book work, but when you come to the parish, it's a different story. Now, during our time, we didn't have the opportunity to work, let's say do pastoral work in the parishes while you're in the seminary. All our research, during our pastoral periods, let's say each year, a month, we concentrated on academic work, do research about our culture. So we didn't have a time to stay in the presbytery to learn a lot of pastoral work. But luckily, when we were ordained, we were with priests who are pastorally inclined. And as I was saying, they will try to check everything that we are doing. If you are going on trek, he will come and see whether your box is okay, whether everything is there for your mass box. Because sometimes you may, you get somewhere and you realize that maybe you didn't take wine, you didn't take hose, and coming back is a long way back. And so we got a lot of support, and we live as a community. When you are not in presbytery, they know where you are. You cannot be out of the presbytery and your fellow priest don't know where you are. Wherever you are going, you tell where you are going, and he knows where you are. And when you are, most of the time, we did the outstations because we're still young, we're strong. And once you are out, they keep, although at that time we didn't have phones, but they keep trying to find out, like Imanfe Road, the trade there could be 10 days. But they will go to the market and find out whether we have reached certain point and how things are going. Is the car all right? Because when roads are difficult, you don't know how far you will reach. So that follow-up and assistance that we got with the priest that we started with really helped us a lot. And when you come back from the outstations, from pastoral work, we sit down and share your experiences, what you encountered. And it's always amusing, it's always interesting listening to how things are outside the parish, especially when you go to a place new. And sometimes if I can just share my experience when I was in Mordecai. I started in Tico, that was my first station. While he was in Piango, I was in Mordecai. I was in Tico. Now that Tico, which was just one parish, now 7 parishes. So we started from Mordecai up to my 14 Jibanda. That's how his parish was. Now, if I went to the creeks, you go to, the father will take you with a car, leave you at Mordecai, then from there you go by water.
So you used to go to creeks. Manuka, places like Manuka?
Mukange was the biggest creek at that time. So you go and stay in Mordecai, and you can go to other places and come back. So Mukange was the biggest creek. And that's where I had my best experiences. The very first thing is, I entered the boat for the first time. And when we're entering the sea, we go from Tico, it is, you go through, more something like a river, but soon you open to the sea. The breeze was so strong, and at one time, the boat went and everybody shouted, "Jesus save us," when we were still going. Now, I had an experience, when we were arriving at Mukange, now, I sat in front. When we were going, I sat in front, everyone was behind. So when they came, people had been waiting for us, for my arrival. Christians were standing at the shore. When we rowed to the shore, when the boat stopped, people were there excited to come and take me from the boat. Now, when I got up, they were instead passing me and going behind. I didn't understand. And then when I turned around, they were carrying the catechists up. That was John Taco. He was an older man, he had beards, so they took him for the priest. So they carried him up. Meanwhile, I stood there at the shore. I didn't know what to do. Nobody was looking at me. Until he said, after laughing, he told that's the priest. Everybody was surprised, they were surprised. Because I think the last priest most of them saw was a white man. And Taco was very light in complexion. And he had beard, so many people thought that he was the priest who was coming. And they just ignored me. So when they realized that I was the priest, first of all, I was still very young. And it was really, I would say it was really something dramatic at that time. People, for a long time, people didn't realize where they were. The error they have made, but they did it all in good
I know you experienced, you're among the few priests who experienced the 3 bishops. I'm sure you experienced 3 bishops. You
Yes.
were ordained by Bishop Pius Suawa in
But I
1979.
was confirmed by Bishop Joe
Jules
Peters.
Peters, okay. Okay. I mean, as a priest, you experienced 3 bishops. You worked with 3 bishops.
Yes.
I tend to Monsignor Edwin Galame. Sometimes we have been told that Bishop Awa was too strict. Let us not talk about Bishop Awa. What legacy will you love to leave? How will you like the people of God to remember you, Monsignor Edwin Galame?
Well, I would like to people of God remember me as somebody who had time for them. That as a priest who had time for them and was comfortable with being with them in their midst and listen to their stories and their, whatever they had, their experiences. And I noticed that whenever I came to a place and I identified myself with the people, they gave me more input, information about themselves. That means that they wanted me to identify myself with them. So I always make sure that I came very comfortable, make them comfortable when I'm in their midst. And so they gave me any more things that they can give me, many more stories. So I was very, very, I would say that for as a legacy, I would say that the priests who are going to the different parishes, they always try to identify themselves with the people of that place and make them feel that they are comfortable with them, no matter the conditions in which they live, and so on. And incidentally, that father with whom I started the Fiango was called Father Fons Tebeke.
Okay.
A military father. He had gone back home.
Okay.
Fons Tebeke.
Monsignor Moses, how will you like to be remembered? What legacy will you leave behind to the younger generation of priests? You were part of the first generation of priests trained by St. Thomas Aquinas Major Seminary, which used to be the regional major seminary.
Yeah.
So what legacy are you leaving? Will you leave behind?
I think, I don't know, sometimes it's difficult to say what you are, but I think somehow I'm humble, and that's what some people have admired in me. When I come to a place, I don't look for high table, I don't want special treatment. Right from the word go, I didn't think that when I come to a place, people will run around, oh, Father has come, what can we give Father, what can we do special for the Father? As I said, when I went to that Mukange, people didn't know that a woman can cook food for me to eat. So when I came there, there was a chicken there, there was yam there. Until the 4 o'clock, I said, what is happening? Then he went behind, heard a meeting, and asked me, can Father eat food prepared by a woman? I said, I eat my mother's food, why not that of any woman? So, but sometimes, and they said all the priests who came before them, because they were Europeans, they came with a cook who cooked their food. No, you can understand, sometimes they didn't get cooked, eat the things that we were eating. But I think everywhere I went, I got myself familiar with whatever thing I have there. You know, in some place you go there, the way you sleep is not very comfortable. But I'm happy with whatever thing I have with me. And people find that sometimes even stress. Sometimes they force you to ask for things that you don't see the need for. But at the end, they appreciate that you didn't make things uncomfortable for them. You see, you come to a place, people when they are wondering what to do with the priests, when they sit down and find out you don't bother about those things, the people at the end are happy. They may like to give you the best, but at the same time, sometimes they may not have what they think that you should have. But when you accept what they have, I think they are happy with you and they can easily accept you. You easily mix up with people and you are able to go anywhere. Especially when we have those long treks. You go to some places, the meal may not be what you expected, but you take what is there. Okay. Like Christ said, when you travel, it was set before you. I think I was lucky that my health has never been a problem with whatever thing I ate. So people find it easy to accommodate me whenever I went because but the thing that I didn't ask too much of what they expected a priest should ask. So I think many people think that sometimes I may not be very friendly, but I don't ask too much of people. You know, sometimes they're angry that I'm not asked that. But for me, when I look at Christ's life, he was simply like anything, you know. And I don't see why I should be asking for extra things unnecessarily.
Monsi, looking back, where did you spend your best days if you look at your ministry? You have been to so many parishes, you have worked in so many parishes, you have served in institutions. Where did you spend your best time as a priest?
Honestly, Father, I spent 7 years in Bangem. That is Bakosi parish, but I don't come from there. I come from a different part of Bakosi. So I spent 7 years in Bangem, and I must say I enjoyed my ministry there more than other place where I stayed in Bangem. Not because the place was wonderful that I was easy to come inside and so on. No, the place everywhere most of the places went on trek. We went there by foot because we not reached most of the places. But I had my best there because first of all I really devoted myself in that place. Since I came there because of the problem, there was a bit of a problem there. I wanted to assure the people that I'm happy to be with them. So for my 7 years there, it was I think I stayed there for only about a year, but I really felt that that's where I really enjoyed my ministry most because first I identified myself with them. They my people. I took part in the choir and everything, the prayers in country talk and so on. They gave me a lot of fulfillment because even the singing and so on. Part of the masses were Bakosi and so on. So I enjoyed myself there too much. Okay. So before I left, when I was living there, I thought I was there for 2 years. But I was there for 7 years.
Okay, 7 years in Bangem as parish priest.
That's where I stayed most, yes.
Okay, wow. Monsignor Moses Tazo, we are at a time when many fear that careerism is gaining grounds in the priesthood. Many are afraid that it could be that careerism is gaining grounds. You may agree or you may disagree with them. What message can you give to young priests who fall into the temptation or who may fall into the temptation to seek titles and promotion at all costs?
I think careerism, unfortunately, is eating deep into the priesthood. People are going away from seeing the priesthood as a call to a simple lifestyle. We tend now to compete with the society. But Christ made it very clear, I withdraw you from society, you are in the world, but you are not of the world. But nowadays, as I said, titles. I remember working with a priest who went to the village and got a title. And when he came back, it was not easy with the bishop. Bishop had to advise him, don't go ahead. He went ahead. I lived in the house with him, and whenever he received a letter from the bishop's house, and they don't put the new name that he got title, he just fling the letter somewhere before he will go and pick it back again. He said, this is not my letter. You see, but for me, priesthood is, I don't know any title that can be more than priesthood. When I value my priesthood, any other title in the world means nothing. As I said, you come to reception and they say this is a high table. Meanwhile, you may feel happier with the people down there, making the people feel comfortable, feel accepted, than when you sit over there and people are down there. As Pope Francis says, you don't smell when you keep yourself away from people, you don't miss the smell of the sheep, which Christ as a baby lived on. The smell of the sheep
and Christ,
at the stable.
Christ himself says he came not to be served, but to serve.
Yes.
So it is all about service.
Yes. So all this, we are going for studies, is to help you be a pastor. Not to help you get a big name and a big position and make noise here and there. Good story should make you humble.
Did you studied out of the country, Father Moses?
I did short courses. I did my diploma course in London and a certificate course in Rome.
Okay. Monsi, you had the opportunity, I'm sure you had the opportunity to study out of your diocese, and you came back. What advice can you give to the priests who have this same opportunity to go out and study and to come back with titles?
Yes, I was fortunate to be sent for studies outside, in Rome, precisely, for 4 years. I did the first 2 years, came back, taught in Bamboo for 2 years, and then went back again for another 2 years. I must say that there I learned many things. That the more you know, the humbler you should be. You should take yourself as if you don't know anything. People should really discover you know something. But all the studies is for the pastoral ministry. It's not for any particular thing again on yourself. So if you go there and you come back with start making titles for yourself, you are just wasting time. And you're competing with the other world. I don't think that the study should make one humbler and know that maybe you don't even know anything. Like most of the people who have studied very well and who are even very good people in their studies, you hardly see them so forceful, talking too much about themselves. Sometimes you only discover that you are the one who has to talk about them. So,
Monsi, maybe you tell us briefly, what are some of the things that you did personally to avoid distractions as a young priest? Because we know coming this far is a lot of discipline.
First of all, when I was a young priest, most of the things I did to distract myself was I love to plant things, farming. Wherever I was, I had a small farm, and I used to distract myself by planting things because I love farming. I love farming, and so on. Like in Tampa, in Bangen where I was, I had my farm there. I planted many things. I planted coconut. I even say alive today. I went to see where they will bear there because the place where coconut don't bear. But when I went back later, I found out that some of them were bearing, and people were eating them already. And one other thing which, when I was a young person, I started myself was when I love basketball very much. So sometimes in the evening after finishing my work, I would like to play basketball. And luckily, the father who was there with whom I was, Franz Tebeke, who was the other assistant priest, who was the first assistant before myself, he fixed the basketball court we met there. And in the evening, after we had finished all our work, we go and sit down, we play basketball with some bit of parish or some parishioners who also us there. So with all those things, that distracted me a bit when I finished my work during the day, to relax myself and so on for the next day.
The Catechism of the Catholic Church in paragraph 900 says, without the support of the laity, the apostolate of pastors will largely be ineffective. Monsignor Moses Tazo, 46 years now as a priest, can you say confidently that you have of course received sufficient respect from Christians, knowing fully well that at the beginning Christians were used to white priests, and now you were among the first generation of black man father?
Yes, I think at no time did I think somebody saw me as being inferior. I have not feel that Christians saw me as being a second-hand priest or an inferior priest as compared to the expatriate priests, the Mihi fathers were here at the time. On the contrary, sometimes they find it easy to interact with us, with me, as a black priest, because sometimes I understand them better, and as I said, it's very easy for me to mix with them in where they are and their standard where they are, than to be wondering how should I treat him, how should I do.
Father, but we are. I don't know if you have not been affected by this saying that familiarity breeds contempt. I don't know. Maybe you share your experience because Jesus himself he told us this.
Yeah, even that. I think they knew the boundaries. They knew that I was not just another lay person. They respected me as a priest. Very, very much that. They knew that I have a special call, and there are moments when they have to listen to me and to follow the way the directives I'm giving them. They respect instruction that I give. Not just because I'm who I am, but because of my calling as a priest. Luckily, I work in areas where people love Christianity. Most of the parishes I've worked, we have seen some of the tribes that are Catholics. Most of I work most of the time in Moyeka, twice in Moyeka, for me up to 13 years. And it's all backward, all over the place. So that we tribally, we feel free, we know ourselves very easy, we get fit in easy with people. And I said, from the word go, they have respect for the calling. People have respect for the priest. And I think they are taking me to that respect. And maybe nowadays, some people are questioning the priest more than in our own days. They seem to be thinking that this small boy, but those days, even though we're also small, the same age, but you do not call it a small boy. They saw it the same as they saw the white priest at that time.
Well, we will take a short break at this point. When we come back, we will continue talking to our two monsignors. Monsignor Moses Tazo, who was ordained a priest on the 22nd of April 1979 in Fontaine. That is, I am sure it should be the parish, St. Clair's Parish, Fontaine. Yes. And then we have Monsignor Edward Eseme Ngalame, who was ordained priest on the 18th of April 1979 in St. Luke's Parish, Nyandong. Both of them are classmates. They were ordained 46 years ago. Stay tuned. We will be right back shortly. And you are welcome back. Now, Monsignor Moses Tazo, you were recently given the honor of Monsignor in the Diocese of BUEA. We got the report there on that day, that fateful day. That was Saturday, 29th of March. This day will always live in your memory. What does this title mean to you?
I think this title gives me a sense of, a sense of maturity in the vocation which I've chosen. It's try to make me understand that I chose the right vocation, and I've been trying to live up to that vocation. If the Holy Father has recognized my work, it means I've worked for the church that I vowed to work for. I've tried my own way to see that I follow Christ as closely as I can. So that day is an assurance to me that my time has not been wasted, and that the little effort I've made has been noticed. People have gained something from me, they have benefited something from me. The excitement, I sometimes even find that people are more excited than I am myself. I don't know why. Some people are rejoicing more than sometimes I feel. But because for me, it's like the life continues. Although now, as I said, with some assurance, some confirmation, and some encouragement, the same priesthood still stands ahead of me. And I still have the same challenges to go through. But I think with the grace of this office, I think that I'll even be more committed to do certain things with the empowerment that I've received from the Holy Father and from my bishop. There's nothing as working with your bishop and you don't know what he thinks about you, whether you appreciate what you are working on, you are doing or what. But I think even Bishop Michael Bibi, he never knew me for long. He not have not known me, but he has heard things that I've done, but he believes in what I've done. And that's why he has, recommended me for this office. He hasn't seen much of what I've done, but he believes that I've done something to the church, and that I'm still
Doing.
Oh,
well, that is what is more important, because we are not letting you off the hook. And there is still a lot to be done. We are celebrating 75 years in the history of the Diocese of BUEA. 75 years. Now we know that since 2014, when Pope Francis came, the title of Monsignor is now being given to priests who are above 65 years old. And Father, what is the way forward after this title, after you were given this honor as Monsignor, Father Monsignor Aaron Galame? What is the way forward?
I think the way forward is still to commit myself more as a priest. What is supposed to be a priest? I may not be given the work to do as a young priest, but I think I should improve more in my prayer life. My duty that I've been given, whatever I'm given again to do it more and more better than before, and to be an example to the younger priest, especially as the prayer life is concerned, the breviary, the rosary, and so on. Which I think that there are certain things that help a priest to be what he is. So I will depend especially on my prayer life, and whatever the bishop has given me to do after that, whatever. As I wrote in my letter which I sent to him for retirement, I said that I'm going to retire, but whatever he tells me to do, I will still do. If I'm able to do, I will do.
Okay. It means that there is no rest for us until the last day, until when they rest in peace.
Yes.
So the work, because even when we pray, we are working. It's not easy to pray. It's not easy to pray because that is why it is even difficult for some persons to pray. You want to pray the rosary, it's easier to hold your telephone for 3 hours, but when you have to hold the rosary,
you start sleeping.
After 10 minutes, you feel sleepy. So it's a sign that praying is doing a lot of work. Now, Monsignor Moses Tazo, we saw the joy that the Christians had with your appointment, with that recognition that you received. What message for these Christians as we are celebrating 75 years? Because it's not just enough for us to dance. I mean, we have been dancing a lot, we have been drinking, we have been eating in the course of the celebrations leading up to the 75th anniversary. What message? Now let us forget about the eating and the drinking.
I think first of all, the excitement that I saw in many of them, and it's still right now, is that they have gotten something from my ministry. They have seen an achievement, and that has helped them also in their own life. And they see as somebody who continue to lift them up. So, in that way, I think we are working together. This achievement is not what I have done by myself, it's what I've done with the Christians. It is with them that I've been able to achieve whatever I have achieved. And we, together with them, we are still going to continue to grow in the spirit, to grow in the life of the church. So I'm just I would just say that let us continue to work hand in hand. Let us continue to journey together. We are still there to journey with them, and we still need their support, their prayers, in a way that they can support the work that we are doing. As I said, if God gives me life and energy, reading and writing is, for me, it's a kind of something that I can never put off except something goes wrong. And when you're writing for people. When you're talking for people. So as long as my ministry is useful to the lay people, they appreciate what I'm doing, they are benefiting from what I'm doing, I think that's where my greatest joy is. That if they are excited because they see that this is a source of, a source of blessing for them, not only in the past, but even in the future.
So, Monsignors, just to say, make it clear that Monsignors are priests. who have distinguished themselves by exceptional service to the church. That is why, upon the recommendation of their bishop, they are granted the title Monsignor. And in 2014, we already indicated that in 2014, Pope Francis decided that the diocesan priests will no longer be awarded the title Monsignor before they reach the age of 65. So we are happy with the recent appointment of 6 priests in the Diocese of BUEA as Monsignors. And we are going to be waiting for the bishop to confirm to us the date of their investiture, the day that, of course, they will receive the cassock, the Monsignor cassock, the biretta, and the other,
the sash,
and the other vestments that are assigned to Monsignors. But now we are happy with. I think that this year, this 75th anniversary is really bringing a lot of blessings to the Diocese of BUEA. The blessings are coming powerfully.
Yes.
So, but we also have those moments of pain, and I think we have had sad memories also in the 75-year-old history of our diocese. And recently, on Thursday, March 27, 2025, at 11:30 a.m., we lost a priest of the Diocese of BUEA, Reverend Father Nicholas Happy. He became the 24th indigenous priest of the Diocese of BUEA to leave this world. We know that priests share sacramental bonds. Now, Monsignor Edward Ngalame, how have you been affected by the passing of priests, the passing away of priests, especially those you shared some intimacy with them?
Yes. In fact, the first one that I really was very, very concerned with that died was Father Michael Obi many years ago. Remember when he died when he was still in studies in Nigeria. He had not finished. And then he was, when he died, he was brought to Cameroon. And I remember I was asked by Monsignor Toba to take the sermon because they asked who was one of his best friends. So I took the sermon.
Monsignor Tuba, okay. So
yes.
He is the one who was assigning priests?
Yeah, he assigned me. I think the bishop assigned him to do it, but he assigned me to do it. Okay. And I did with the first sermon which I took about a priest who had died. And it affected me very, very much. And I must say that even the Christian people, the way they turn up for that mass and the way they appreciate that sermon, that sermon which I preached the death of Father Obi, I'll never forget it. So other ones have died who are very, very well, very close to me, like Father Louis Nomi, Father Etienne Kumba, Father Sylvester Su, especially Sungwa, Father Sufo. I worked with him. So all these days have affected me somehow. But one thing is clear, that we are born to die. So that death is not an annihilation. It is a passage to another life. So they have gone ahead of us. I'm sure they are praying for us who are still behind. So in that case, the death has not affected me badly as such. It has affected me to have more courage and more faith.
Maybe to prepare for your own time.
Yes. My own death.
24 deceased indigenous priests of the Diocese of BUEA. The first was Father Nicholas Malonge in 1963. The Diocese of BUEA lost Father Samson Tata Yinso in 1987. Then Father Michael Obi, that Father Monsignor Edward Galame preached on the day of his funeral, the burial mass. Father Michael Obi died in 1995. This diocese also lost Reverend Norbert Duru in 1996. Father Sylvester Sungwa died in 1998. Father James Sufo died in 1999. We had Father Richard Chin, who left us in 2002. Father Peter Zenkeng died in 2004. Father Marcellus Bekong, 2006. Father Abraham Guifo died in 2008. In 2009, BUEA Diocese lost Father John Kubo. In 2010, Father Michael Sungwa died. In 2012, we lost Father Christopher Ndia. In 2014, Bishop Pius Suawa left this world. 2015, Father Dennis Ndang died. In 2018, that is, so from Father Dennis Ndang, we had 3 years. Then suddenly in 2018, but it was a sudden death. We all know the sad story that happened that surrounded the death of Father Alexander Sop Nugi in 2018. He was shot. Father Patrick Harrington died in, of course, he is a missionary, but he really served in our diocese for long, and of course very close to the priests, very close to the Christians, and he was buried in Motengene in 2018. Monsignor Lucas Ade Atang died in 2018. Father Clement Atia died 2019. Father Donatus Okafor, who also served in this diocese for quite a long time. He was not a diocesan priest, but most people knew that he was a diocesan priest. He was of course, he was a missionary priest. He died in 2019. Monsignor James Tuba died in 2021. In 2021, we lost again Father Etienne Ntela Kumba. In 2022, we lost Father Didymus Mfomi, and very recently, in 2025, we have lost Father Nicholas Happy. Monsignor Moses Tazo, these deaths may have affected you. In fact, they have certainly affected you in a way.
Certainly. And some of the cases, they died when I was not around. You know, whether I was out or something. Most of them died when I was not around, so I didn't even witness their burials. But all the same, I must say that of Father Happy, really, I'm still have to grasp, because 2 weeks before that, I was with him at the shrine, and he insisted I must eat with him before I go. I tried to say I must eat with him, and I ate with him. That's the last time we talked together. While in the hospital, I sent him a text. He replied. At that time that he died, I was at a police station trying to get my identity card, and I sent him a message at the time that he died. I mean, he didn't receive the message before he died. As I was writing, I realized that the time that I sent that message, that's the time how he died. It's like I've been journeying with him even to the moment that he covered his eyes. It's not an easy loss. Every time I was in the shrine today, and his picture was there, it's like it's not still going to come back.
Oh, it's like well, maybe it's like he's still there. It's not real.
Yeah.
Sometimes we only know that someone has left us when we see him or her being lowered in the grave. So it's really painful. But well, it is an existential reality, Father. It's an existential reality. Once you are born, someday you will die. So we prepare for that day. Like the Catechism of the Catholic Church teaches us, we should not be afraid. We should not be afraid of death. The message of the Last Judgment and death should rather call us to conversion. I think we read that in the Catechism, paragraph 1041. Now, Father, what last word for the Christians of the Diocese of BUEA and for the priest, Father Moses Tazo? 75 years should not just come and go like that.
Now, to the priest, I will say the diocese is growing at a fast rate. Let them tighten their belt to go on with, especially with the new bishop who is very enthusiastic, who is very hardworking. Let us gather behind him and continue the work. We began many years ago, but it's not like the work is becoming lesser because of the many years we have spent in the work, but the work is becoming more and more. So let them tighten their belt and continue the work. To the Christians, again, we don't rest until I say when RIP is written against our name. So we keep on walking. Like today in the gospel, Christ said, God walks throughout. He keeps on walking. So we too have to keep on walking around the clock.
Monsignor Edward Galame, if you were asked to become a priest again, will you do it at a time when many people feel that priesthood is unrewarding?
I would still like to be a priest. If I were to be asked again or to come back to life, yes, because I have really enjoyed my ministry so far, and I don't see why I should not like to be a priest again, because this vocation has been wonderful to me. And I say to the Christian and the priest, only one word: perseverance in whatever they are doing, as a Christians, as a priest.
Thank you, Monsignors. Thank you very much for being part of the 75th anniversary rundown today. Monsignor Moses Tazo, we are grateful to have had you share your rich experience with us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to share the ministry with those who are in the ministry and those who have been looking to see what we're doing and how much we have gone through, so they can now get the relay button and continue.
And we're also thanking you, Monsignor Edward Esemen Galame. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, Father Ekundi, for inviting me to come. I was happy to come.
We are happy that you came. And we pray that you share. I think these stories that you are telling us today will be told to the generations to come. And there is one psalm I love. I'm sure that should be Psalm 92, verse 12 to 14. The just will flourish like the palm tree, still bearing fruit when they are old, still full of sap, still green. So I think it's a prophetic word for our monsignors. They are flourishing, yes, even in old age. They are doing well. Monsignor Moses Tazo was ordained 46 years ago in Fontem, and Monsignor Edward Galame as well ordained in St. Luke's Parish, Nyandong, 46 years ago. Thank you both.
Thank you, Father.
We want to thank our televiewers, our friends of DMR TV for following the program today. Stay tuned to DMR TV of the Diocese of BUEA.